Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket. I think you know about my show, and if you don't, well, that's unfortunate because we're on live here, and if I'm just not mistaken, let me look at this. Facebook seems to have been very ordinarily done here, guys. Okay, let's just look at what the story is here. We've got, oh my God, what a shame. They really don't care about us, do they? So we've got Ranil and Gorta here. They're both in the box, the Sri Lankan leaders in their finery. So I'm not sure whether you're aware that the show's on, guys. I'm not sure it's been shown here. Let's have a look what's going on. Seems to be a little bit of a delay. And we've got someone joining us now. The show is a pre-match showing of the fifth day between, of course, England and a very, can I put this, a very disappointed India, because they're probably going to look down the barrel of a defeat here potentially if they don't watch it. It's not what they expect to be in the situation, considering where they're at for most of this match. So, well, very much aware of their position in the order of events. They should certainly have been the favoured team in this match, but they're not. Quite incredible. So anyway, it's one of those ones that you would prefer not to see results for. Anyway, one of those days that cricket for India, like with New Zealand has also gone through the same pain where they've expected to be, on top, and they haven't been. So it's a bit unusual. So we're on it earlier today. We're here to preview the last day's page. You can see I'm in a different room, moving the house around. Eventually, I'll have a number of cricketing artifacts behind me, which will be very exciting. One behind me now, you can see in the distance is one about Tendulkar and Steve Waugh. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what develops. So who have we got online? Announce yourself, guys. Nobody's made any comments, so it's very unusual. Normally, we've got people making comments left, right, and centre. Anyway, so this match really is heading down the barrel of an England victory, an extremely early case. And the reality is that what's the score now? 79. Okay. We seem to be getting somewhere. Okay, so we have a situation where Australia are, in fact, somewhat behind the 8-ball in their series. Well, Australia not behind the 8. In fact, they're in charge in the series against Sri Lanka, as we probably know. Sri Lanka certainly in a better position there. They've won the first. Sorry, Australia in a better position than that one. Sri Lanka have certainly stuffed it. They've got a few changes going on with the Australian side. But I can see right, Sri Lanka have called up Mahesh Theekshana and Dunith Willalaga, who was actually a part of the ODI series, and Lakshita Manasinghe for the second test against Australia and Gaul. All three are uncapped at test level, and at least one is set to play on Friday. Lasith Ambaldinia has actually been dropped. The squad and fellow left-arm Praveen Jarakarama was ruled out by COVID. So the 90 left-arm spin looks like he might be getting his opportunity. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. England, of course, it's 3 for 259, an amazing set of circumstances. Could India have done anything to stop England? Is the question that's being asked here. I don't think they could have. I think there's been nothing much they could do to stop India at all. They could not have. Could India have done anything to stop India? Would India have done anything to stop England? I don't think so. If I'm them. Fair to, and I think that there's really not a lot of certainty there. So, could India have done anything? Hello there. Sebastian, Root and Beza are in the form of their lives. They certainly are. There's no doubt about that. Could India have done anything to stop England? Well, again, in both the game against New Zealand that England played and now against India, in both cases, they were in ascendancy. India were in ascendancy, and New Zealand, we would argue, in ascendancy. But it comes to this last innings, and then all of a sudden, bang, India starts to just, well, so much India, England starts to just gain momentum. They start to have this Baz ball approach. And then you just see them just gain momentum and just keep on going and rising to the occasion. This fear of the last innings of a match is no longer the case. It just is not the case. They just have, it really isn't. That's a great question. Could India have done anything to stop England? The question is no. No, I'm afraid not. They've got this amazing. I'll ask more about that question. So, how's the pitch been? So it hasn't been so much flat. I wouldn't have thought. You don't know anything. You say Australia lost to Sri Lanka. You say today just takes 5. Look, the reality is that we are in a situation here where could India have done anything to stop England? We will bring that point up more and more throughout the evening as we watch this game. Yes, Paul Newman's joined us. Yes, India needed around 500 runs to stop England. It looks like that was the case, all right. It's one of those bizarre situations indeed. And of course, we've got a number of scenarios to talk about here. I really do wonder what's going to happen, because it's really unfair to bash India at all, because India certainly haven't deserved this result. They played very, very well indeed, I thought. And they deserve to be in a winning position, not a losing position. And it's hard to mention that it's happened so quickly. In those 2 hour sessions, England just ran away with it. Samuels and India are out of the game now. I would argue they are, quite incredibly so. Really, I was quite shocked when I saw the score. Then they got a mere 100 odd runs to get in the last day. That really shouldn't have been the case. It's been 300 plus they should have been having to chase, and that wasn't the case. Really is quite an amazing situation. Now, you know what I'm going to do a bit later, guys? I'm actually going to go and get some food. You're going to come with me when I get some food. Pick up my meal. We're going on a bit of a walk. You want to do that? So it will be 2 out of 2 most likely. But it gives England India the upper hand. They still retain the trophy. They don't lose the trophy, so it's not actually a loss to India at all. Sahaj says in England it gets better for batting, is what I've heard on the last as the test match progresses. Well, not normally. No, it normally has its moments towards the end where it actually falls apart, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I don't know. So we're going to go out in a minute. I'm going to go get some food, but you're going to join me. I'm going to come back and we're going to continue the show as well. So you can see I'm in the lounge room. It's very different, very cleaned up lounge room. We're going to eventually get more pictures on the wall. I'm actually going to transform this place quite considerably in the next few days. I'm going to go to my storage area and get all of my Indian, Australian and the like. So Chitani, Kalani, sir, it all boils down to the conditions now. If there's no assistance from the pitch, I think we will be going beyond 1 hour. I'd agree with that. Who would you have thought the pitch would have become a road on day 4? Ashes 2023. I can't wait. I agree. It's going to be bloody amazing. It's going to be a great scenario indeed, I would argue. All right. So let me have a look here. We've got
single ball. You thought the game. You thought they were on 300 over so many shots being
played. So they interviewed. They've interviewed Cameron Green he's been very, you know, frank with his.
I wasn't actually meant to cook, but I think it's just like there was just so much happening.
So much happening. He's saying
Gas at one point had 9 chances in a row off his bowling. It just felt like there was just a.
It's just hard to comprehend what's going on with that, I'll tell you. But no, it's a mighty fine situation. So he's 13-26, 895, 431. 13-26, 859, 431. Okay. So what is that video there? That was actually done after. 13-26, there. So let's listen to some Henry talk. Video there that was actually done after. 13-25, 894. That's actually wrong then. That's
single ball.
That's not right. So 13-29. Okay. All's right. All's well that ends well. All right. That's all we've got here. We've got a big discussion here. Ken Green comes. What he says, he's very humbled, Sam, about the whole thing. You'll see it on my YouTube channel. Just have a good look at it after. The Duke's ball is a problem. It isn't doing much. Yeah, it's somewhat true. So Sam has like, I've got that there. You can see my broadcast there. You'll see it there. Okay. Aggressive cricket won't work when there is seam movement. I suspect Rob Key and McCallum ordered the manufacturer to. No, he did not. Paul Newman, India losing here will probably only help Australia. Yes, it probably will. Let's see how England perform overseas before we say how good they are. Yeah, it's a fair point. All fair points. I'm not going to knock any of these points. I'm going to be fair. To everybody involved. So let's just look at the scoreboard. I'm actually going to get some food in a minute, guys. I've got food ordered. So England, so let's go through. India scored 416. We're in the ascendancy. Then England were all out for 284. So that meant that they had a 132 run lead. 132 run lead. India had on their first innings, 132. Then they went out and scored 245, which is not a great total, but that gave them 377 lead, meaning they needed 378 to win. That is England. England have, in a short space of time, gone to 3 for 259 and only had 119 runs. Now, that's quite astounding. What's the dinner? It's going to be chicken curry, Thai chicken curry and rice. No magnums. They've had 3 magnums last night. Probably needed to. Sam Hizzle, I predict one thing. The Granny ODI century comes in New Zealand ODIs. Okay, there you go. So Joe Root's not at 76. Amazing. And of course, you've got Johnny Bairstow not at 72. Another amazing performance. Jasprit Bumrah's taken 253. Mohammad Shami, unfortunately, hasn't taken a wicket yet. So realistically, that score of 3 for 259 is quite incredible. Lees, and the crucial thing is Alex Lees here and Zach Crawley provided a fantastic opening partnership. They both justified their performances, with Lees getting 56 and Zach Crawley getting 46. Ollie Pope in the last 3 balls, he was caught behind Bumrah, but then Root and Bairstow have taken him up the slack. They've still got Stokes and Billings to go, so there's a fair bit of batting. It's unlikely that England will lose this match. I didn't say that a few days ago. Except Bumrah, everybody else looks toothless. Well, I don't know. I think there's been some good batting as well. So 119 runs. The current run rate is 4.54, which says everything. That's a magnificent run rate for anyone to have. And you have to argue that there were the last 10 overs, they're done for 53 off 5, and an average of 5.3. So it's actually increased there. So they're 378. They're cruising 350 on the same wicket and the same score. Of course, Stokes went and scored a massive century. Do you think that Ashwin would have made a difference here? Probably not. Joe Root has overtaken Steve Smith as the best test batter in tests, as a #1 test ranked batsman. Well, that's not unusual, Sebastian. I would have thought that would have been a fairly normal expectation, really. Okay, you're going to come with me in a minute. We're going to go for a bit of a trip to get some food. I'm just going to do a few things here. Some of the other channels are doing very, very well, and I'm quite jealous. Okay. Joe, okay. That's why Australia's bowling attack rest of the world. If someone says that pitch is flat, there is a reason India struggle to bowl. Australia take 20 wickets in flat wicket. Okay. A trip to the shops, yes. We'll go there. We'll actually go on just my local Thai restaurant. Nice joke. Okay. Let's have a look here. We're just going to get this going here. Okay, there's comments coming up all over the place here now. A bit more aggressive. Yeah, I guess it's fair comment. So what have we got here? Just got to check on that. Has Aya been exposed to the short ball? The direct hit, I don't know whether he has or not. I mean, I don't think that's been the issue here at all at the moment. I must be honest with you. So live day 5, England versus India. I guess 24. It's not. It's just started to take off there. Why isn't it not letting me do the thing to it? Okay. It's not letting me audience retention reach. Not giving me an opportunity to donate to it at all. Yes. Okay. So he'll adjust. Everyone has to, at some point, I think. He will. Norman, same happened in Sydney and Gabba when India chased down on the 5th day in 2021. Yeah, Subhash, this has been a bit of a revelation here for the whole approach that we've seen from this team. It's been pretty impressive. And I've got little doubt that we're going to see a lot more of this happening. We're going to see a lot more competitiveness than what we see as a score. So we're going to be going very shortly up the road, if you don't mind. We'll just see what's going on there. We've got a bit more aggressive. I've got that comment. Let's have a look here. So, Norman, match over. England going to win this match. Well, you would have to think so, guys. I have to agree that I can't really see much of in the way of a victory to anyone else but England. I didn't say that a couple of days ago. Why would I have? I keep repeating the scoreline's just phenomenal. We've got, look, when you have India at 416 all out, and then England all out for 24, India are already 132 runs in front. Now, they didn't capitalise in their second innings by only getting a score of 245. They only led by 377, leading a 378 finish. Now, that is the biggest score ever on the 4th innings for England to win the match, yes. But England's current mentality, they can do everything. England is too good for this. In this particular match, yeah, England are going through a purple patch. Last night, what I say, I love Baggy Green song. That's why I say England winning. Okay, Sam, it looks like you're pretty close to it. It really, again, India all out for 416. They had 2. Rishabh Pant 146, unlike Mitchell. Jadeja 104, unlike Blundell. But same New Zealand situation. Then England, except for Bearsted 106, that rest of them batted poorly. 132 runs adrift. India's second innings. No one scored a century, only a 66 by Pujara and 57 by Pant. The rest of the team fails relatively. And they got 245 now. Then England comes out firing with both their openers getting good scores, 56 and 46 respectively. Pope fell early. But then Root and Bairstow, both 76 and 72 respectively, looking like they're heading for centuries. And will win the match. England at the moment are in a red-hot purple patch. Not much point when they... I think David Green... Amber. Oh. Oh. Yes, it's been a remarkable. It's been a remarkable. Now, David Graven is actually asking to see if he can get it. I just did. Let's just see if David Graven has got the connection now. I think he does. I'm about to get David Graven. It's going to be interesting to see what he's got to say. England lost 3-1 to India in India, and it'll be 2-2 here in England. So India retains the Patati Trophy. Correct, Subhash. That's correct. I don't believe India losing after. I didn't think so either. When you're looking back, batting with some tests, lacking batting India needs to good young test batsmen. They've got plenty of Edgbaston. They've got plenty of bloody good players. It's just a pity that they, for some reason, have not been able to get their act together in the whole scheme of things. So I have sent it to David. David should be on shortly. Yes, sir. I'm just asking this to be so Amber. Amber's it. Okay. And actually, David's here. Hi, David.
Norman, how was your ice cream yesterday?
My 3 ice creams, as a matter of fact.
All that bit, but I couldn't get on because it was like a YouTube connection. I don't know.
Really?
They were asking me to join YouTube and all sorts of things.
And how did you resolve that?
I didn't. So I just had to listen to you talk. So, and this one this morning went straight into the junk. So I was taking a view.
Isn't it amazing, David, how yet again England are proving this 4th inning momentum just flows and they just seem to get their act together and nothing can stop them.
Well, I would have to say that they're obviously playing some outstanding cricket. I think the whole basis of Test match cricket altered the moment T20 was introduced.
Yeah.
People were no longer frightened by scores as long as the wicket was okay. I think India, dare I say it, have been extremely slapdash in the way they've batted in the 3rd innings of a couple of Test matches, one in South Africa and this one here, where all they had to do was to bat time and get beyond T yesterday, and then you'd be chasing 400. Well, if they get 400 plus, then that's, I'm not saying that was impossible, but actually they left them 5 sessions to get 370. So if you don't get bowled out, you're just talking about 80 runs a session, which the way England are batting is well within their capabilities. India also picked the wrong team. And then the point has been made that they have a couple of young seamers. I wouldn't say they're that young. They've played some Test match cricket, but actually, if you look back at the scorecard in the South African Test match where South Africa chased and won, the younger seamers were the ones who really struggled to, maintain length, line, discipline, and mental strength. Because when somebody chases you as a batsman, as the way that England are doing, you're in but so that they're going to go out in 6 minutes time or whatever. They know that actually, if they can get 3 wickets, the 3 key wickets, before the lead, before the required amount gets below 50, then you can get some knee knocking going on. But they've got to get those 3 wickets quickly, because if they don't, they'll win by lunchtime.
The momentum, the confidence, the fervour about the England batting lineup. Root and Bairstow, you'd argue, will be unstoppable. So will Stokes. It'd take a mini miracle for that to happen. This match, India had the ascendancy after the first inning. They were in the lead by 132. Even though they only got 245 in their second innings, they were still 377 in front.
Now, but that in our time, Norman, seems millions. But in the modern game, it isn't. As long as the wicket's flat. Now, if you were set 370 in a normal Indian spinning wicket, well, that's 3,000. You're not going to, unless somebody plays a Kevin Peterson knock that he played in Mumbai. But that's one in a, how many years is that? The wicket itself, again, stressing the point, when the sun comes out in England, the wicket changes because it's all the uneven. Some, whatever Virat Kohli is gonna do is obviously going to be a momentous decision. But the ball that he got in the second innings was a serious delivery that just took off. The wicketkeeper parried it or was dropping it, ended up in Root's lap. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. But the momentum is something that people talk about, but that can disappear in 2 overs.
That's true.
But you look at the Indian attack, who is going to get a wicket other than Bumrah? No one.
No, I mean Sharma has been pretty admirable. I think he hasn't bowled badly at all.
No, but they're going at 4 and over, so there's no sense of control. Even when Jadeja tried to bowl over the wicket, they countered that because Jadeja got so much pace on the ball, they just used the pace.
Yeah. Now let's have a look at some of these comments. Is Joe Root the best batter England has ever produced, David?
Ever produced? Very hard thing to say that. Are you going to say he's better than Graham Gooch? Is he going to be better? Graham Gooch to me is the one person that's the triple hundred. He needs to go on YouTube and see that triple hundred he got against India. He, being the modest bloke that he said, he thought that India didn't have a very good attack. But they're playing as well as anybody can play. I put it as I think Joe Root is the best batter in the world at the moment.
Oh, certainly, and
I followed behind it by Bairstow. Bairstow is just playing. Well, he's just playing.
Unbelievable.
He's on a different planet, basically. So, I was thinking that Joe Root is in the form of his life because he can just concentrate on playing the longer form of the game. But Bairstow goes from the short form, white ball, into the red ball and just keeps smacking it to the boundary. They're right about that.
Revelation. What a revelation.
The Ashwin is an international bowler. His record suggests that. And I think that for India to play 4 seamers is just off the planet, basically. So, if the weather was set fair, which it was, we're going to be rain interruptions to start with. But we're into the 5th day. The games against New Zealand went to the 5th day. You'd be crying out for an Ashwin. If you had Ashwin yesterday, then I'm not saying it wouldn't have been the same because they can both play spin. But hindsight and selection is a wonderful thing. So,
but they didn't play Ashwin for the entire England series last year, did they?
Yeah, no. But Jadeja got 100 in the first innings that set the total up. I think the way that they batted in the second innings was very expensive in many, many ways. They could have batted England completely within reason, made it even more difficult than it appears to be at the present stage, which doesn't seem to be that difficult. So,
are they starting in the next minute, or are they starting in half an hour?
I thought they were starting at 10:30, but
as in earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's no evidence
I'm
yet.
not sure why, but they certainly. That is one thing I would be very critical of England. That you go anywhere else in the world and you lose time to the weather, and they start half an hour earlier. I don't understand why England can't do it. Other grounds have security considerations and whatever, and police, and they serve lunch the same as anybody else does. It just seems an obvious way to make up lost time.
Well, Joe Root's out there and he's about to face Mohammad Siraj for the first ball of the day. It looks quite glooming above, I must say.
There is a cloud cover that has come in from the northwest. But if you remember, we had this discussion when that we thought that New Zealand might have an opportunity when they were chasing.
Yeah.
They hardly played and missed England.
Look, I can't imagine Root on 76 and Bairstow in his 70s as well. are going to stuff this up. They're going to take it by the horns and
No,
just.
but it can stays in the obvious. It can change in a couple of balls. But what you're looking at the lineup of the Indian bowling attack, and also when people play like that, Norman, and you drop them, which they did, or they dropped Bairstow, definitely a very catchable catch. People are standing in the field thinking, "Don't hit it to me," that's and you have to put it behind you. So
look, Mohammad Siraj has a knack on occasions to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Now he does have the ability to take a few wickets. Now he's bowling at the moment.
Not doubting that they can't, Norman, but they've got to do it within 50 runs. They've got to be
the
able.
first ball he bowled popped violently outside off stump. The second ball's jagged back onto Root's middle stump, and he's just defended it without the bat with his pad. Actually, it was a half a peel. In fact, they're going upstairs. This is quite a start. This ball, and I'm just looking at it now, has come in a country mile. It's way too high. And Root didn't have a clue what was going. Are you able to watch it while we're talking?
No, don't worry. We'll talk for half an hour, and then I'll bugger off.
So, okay. Don't you think this is fantastic for Test cricket? The resurgence of England. India, somewhat there, but not quite there. Australia's now got a firm for the World Test Championship final because of this result. They're obviously going to beat Sri Lanka, I would imagine, in the next test. Sri Lanka have made wholesale changes to their bowling attack because of the debacle of the first match. I'll get your opinion about that. What did you think of Sri Lanka in that test match?
Well, I assume they played on a wicket that spun backwards, did they?
Oh, it did, but the Australians actually handled it really well. Usman Khawaja took even Carey and even Cameron Green all got decent scores. The Sri Lankan batters were all out after 22 overs for 113 or something.
Yeah,
they capitulated severely.
What does head bowl, Norman?
Oh, absolute. Generally, donkey drops off spinners, and shouldn't be a bowling in any test team. But he took fourth, and he was just putting it outside, and that was jagging back a country mile. And I mean,
I didn't say it in the
cricket. He's a bowler.
It's a little bit like what's happening firstly in the UK. There's thousands of runs being scored all over the place. So some guy playing second team cricket, a guy called Finlay Bean, scored 400 in the second team.
I saw that.
I'm not quite sure what he was trying to achieve, because having played in a game, or partly played in a game when Lara got 500 or whatever, you never get a result, because it takes a chunk of time to get those runs in the first place. There's lots of run scoring, but one result which was a really good game of cricket was Harmer, who plays for Essex, was South Africa's off spinner, bowling at Chelmsford and bowling against Hampshire, who've got some half decent players. And bowling it, he's a very attacking off spinner. He must bowl it, I would say, 12 inches outside the off stump. But he could do that because the Hampshire had left arm seamers. So the rough outside the off stump was a much more conducive area to bowl it. So my recollection of seeing Sri Lanka play, they always have left arm seamers. So I don't know whether that was the case. Certainly, when Murali was playing with Chaminda Mas bowling at the other end, it created another set of problems for the batters, because there was a lot more rough outside, certainly for the right-handers. So he had rough on both sides of the wicket. So,
well, they have I think it was Asif Fernando was bowling around the wicket, so he was creating a left arm spot.
Yeah, they never get quite as close as a left armer does. So
no, but Ambaldini has been a bit of a find for Sri Lanka in the spinning department. Like a year or so ago, he's fallen away severely, and has actually been dropped for this match. They've got 3 players earmarked to be a part of the test squad, all uncapped, and we'll see how they go. They're going to be quite a different makeup. So the reality is Sri Lanka's batters are the ones that fail. Only Roshan Dickwella got a 50-odd in the first innings. Otherwise, they fell miserably, and they really don't seem to have their act together.
Because you have strong connection with Sri Lanka, it doesn't take too much to get internal politics. And given the state of the country in a non-cricketing sense, they'll all be having a say about who should be playing. So,
I mean, President Rajapaksa, who's not Gota, but the other brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa, who's now out, and they put in Ranil for the 6th time as leader of the country, which is hilarious. He keeps getting put in as a puppet while the other Rajapaksas jostle.
it wasn't one president, the other one prime minister at one stage.
Correct. One brother was president, one was prime minister. The
So
president,
president to prime minister.
well, we got Gota Rajapaksa is the president. Mahinda Rajapaksa is the prime minister, having previously been the president. So their brothers are just jostling around. So they got rid of Mahinda. He went. His house was burnt down. But they put in a guy called Ranil, who's not a brother, but he's a puppet. He's been the leader of the country on 6 different occasions. Every time the Rajapaksa family stuffs up, they throw Ranil in to be their proxy. It's disgraceful.
Well, my only recollection is when Sri Lanka won the World Cup, beating Australia, that my best friend at school was the president of the cricket union, and was obviously delighted for them winning, and it was a fantastic final or whatever. He was out of a job within 3 months because the government had changed, and whoever came in as a minister of sport didn't like Anna and put somebody else in. Just bizarre.
I mean, I was there when I was a media interview of Jayawarder and Sangakkara, and then they walked off, and then on came Trevor Bayliss and Stuart Law as the coach and assistant coach. And they were both ticked off because they had to read the team. The team sheet, I saw it physically, had lines through certain players, and that was done by none other than Mahinda Rajapaksa, the president. And also Jai Surya was brought back, and it was a complete and utter disaster. So Trevor Bayliss was walking off, cursing under his breath because his team had been decimated by a president saying, well, who he wants in the team.
Yeah, he picks the team. So, so they obviously have some issues. They've got some really talented cricketers. I see them at under 19 level. The left arm spiller, Welagge, he came into the test team, very talented cricketer. But it's a pretty toxic environment for a young guy to come in and play against Australia as well. That's tough.
Well, the women's team were playing India in Dambulla in central Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I've been to Dambulla. Yeah.
Exactly, and they had the match there. Sri Lanka was something like, I think, I'm not sure how many they were, 5 or whatever it was for 170 odd. Well, India were none for when they passed their score. And one of the girls I manage is Nilakshi De Silva, who's scored 32 in the match, quite a commendable total, said she just shakes her head. There's so many issues, not with the coach, because the coach is actually Hashim Tilakaratna, who I've got a lot of time for. He's doing
it's Chris Silverwood coaching the main team.
The men's, the open men's team, correct. So he is. He seems to be well liked, but
he is a lovely man, Norman. So,
yeah, you know him, don't you? Of course.
Yeah, I know him pretty well. He's a really, really lovely man. And that's the one thing about changes of administration. That this is going fantastically well. You're delighted for Rob Key, and as I said to you when it first happened, they won't die wondering with this management team, and that's proven to be the case. But you just think that is it a reverse? Is it an implied criticism of what went before? And there were a lot.
I think not.
There are a lot of issues that at current stage this management team don't have, because actually when they took over the bubble environment, it's not gone completely, but it's a little bit more relaxed than it used to be. Whereas Chris Silverwood for the last 2 years was just a horrendous environment to try and play cricket, look after the team to be in the right mental state was just impossible. So I hope that's always remembered when these media guys who have an alarming memory failure from time to time sort of write their conclusions. But the current lot and the way that the current team is playing is just outstanding. And the way that they're picking people in form, which is the way you ought to go. And also, I think a distinction I pointed out to you was that I always found it very difficult, or more difficult, to decide how long is a piece of string in relation to a batsman, in terms of how many opportunities you give them, and they're very quick to be very transparent. They said that Zach Crawley was going to have as many chances as was needed. So, that's the player himself can take a lot of confidence from that. So,
And look, the makeup. Well, Joe Root's still there, so it's not his performances that have led to this. His captaincy. He decided he'd had enough and had done his bit, and it's time to give someone else a chance. And I commend that because he's batting fantastically without the captaincy pressures. And it's a great thing for England that he's been able to be strong enough to come through not being captain and continue playing. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, no, and he had done it for a long time. I can only reflect on me being captain of a county team in the UK. That one of my best friends who was in the team just said, sort of, how long do you think you're going to keep doing this? Because, winning and losing does have an impact on you. But the one thing, this is the player speaking, is that you're beginning to say the same things that you used to when you first started out, which were quite inspirational to start with, but they're not anymore. So
there's been questions already about, in this particular broadcast, comparison of, again, this is a bit left field, but Khawaja and Bairstow. You can't really compare this to they're very different batsmen, but they're both
chalk and cheese, really. So
yeah. But Matthew Renshaw, there's been discussion. Himanshu Rahela has asked about Matthew Renshaw getting back to an ODI selection. I think he should be even considered for Test. He was that good a batter in his time. But yeah, there's a lot of definitely Pope's number one. Baba Azam certainly around the second level, along with the likes of, certainly Bairstow and Usman Khawaja. They're your top four. Coley is not able to score runs. He only scored 20 or whatever he scored in his last innings. He's still not performing. It's very sad. And Williamson has died off as well.
Who was up? Would you say the second player you're talking now? You're just talking about Coley.
Coley and Williamson have dropped off.
Oh, William, yeah. We talked about Williamson and the state of his injury.
Yeah.
And I think that does creep into your batting. But suddenly, New Zealand were in a situation where they just had one bowler of any threat, which was Bolt. Southey and Bolt just got off a plane having played the IPL. And for some reason, the balls that they're using aren't swinging as much as they used to. And they seem to be soft noticeably during the halfway through. So that combination, I think, is there seems to be it seems to me with the New Zealand, they could have been bowling at Mitchell and Blundell for days, basically, before they got them out. And they weren't seen as an obstacle. So if you're coming in down the order, you've got half a chance of getting some runs. But again, the way that India approached the batting yesterday was really sloppy, really. So
look at Bairstow. He scored a century in the first innings. He's just moved to 83 not out of this innings. He's just absolute purple patch.
So who's bowling from the other end now?
Bumrah.
So he's hit a couple of boundaries already then.
Yeah. He's only need 106 to win now. They're motoring along. Himanshu Rahel has asked whether you're from England. Himanshu, you've been on the show for a long time. Of course, David's from England. Not only is he from England, he represented England in many formats, especially as the chairman of selectors. But we've just been joined by Motion Sheikh. How are you? Mo's not sure they can hear us. We haven't got any volume from you, Moses.
Mute.
Can't hear you. You can't hear me either. I can hear David. He's on the channel. David and I can talk. So we can't hear you, Mosen, but we can hear each other. He'll rejoin. So, okay. Now, who is the chief selector? Who is the chairman of selectors now? Is there such a thing?
I don't think there is, actually. I think that there's not a chairman of selectors because I was the last one. So for legal reasons, they had to change the name to make it the national selector.
Yeah.
So Ed Smith was the first person to. There's been a series of people: Jeff Miller, James Whittaker, but they had to change the title. So Ed Smith was removed because I think his views clashed with certainly the two captains, Morgan and Root. And then I don't think it's ever been. So Chris Silverwood wanted to take over the whole thing of selecting and bring it in, internal, which has its merits. Unless you're playing against Australia, where selection will be under the microscope, and it's a tough tour, Australia away. But in the end, I think the role of the selector is, I think, when I can reflect back on my time, is a bit more of a sounding board, Norman.
Yeah.
Because you can gather information on people outside the circle of people who are playing at the current time, and that's what happens. So there isn't, as far as I can see, there isn't one. I think the combination of Rob Key, obviously, the coach and the captain, and they're strong individuals. You're not going to. They'll have their ideas who should be playing. So as long as the information is being gathered around other players, but at the current stage, domestically, England have been playing a T20 competition. So, what is the relevance of that to a Test match player? So,
yeah, I'm just having to try and rectify the little problem here. But I'm just asking him to take his earpiece out. So, all right. Okay, so Bairstow is 84. Root is at 82 now. He did play. Okay, look at Bairstow's numbers: 116, 8, 136, 162, 71, 106, 84. Unbelievable numbers.
Yeah.
3 centuries, 70, and now an 80, which could lead to another 100. Incredible.
That is, I would say, nearly Mike Hussey form, Matt.
Oh, for sure. Mosley, you're there.
Hello, can you hear me?
He's there.
Hi, David. Nice to see you after a
Nice,
long time.
how are you?
I'm going well, mate. Thank you very much.
How
good are your boys playing?
They're playing a different game than I'm used to. Basically,
It is very exciting. It is very, very good on eyes. Good Test cricket, and I'm loving it.
Well, I said to someone before you came on, the way that Test cricket is being, and you look at the people who have been successful, let's say, over the last time, since T20 cricket came onto the screen, then the whole attitude of the way people play changed completely. So, and you wouldn't say the way that David Warner started playing. People would say, "Well, you can't play Test match cricket like that." Well, you actually can play Test match cricket like that.
Exactly right.
So this is the way that, and the weather has been really dry here mostly. So the wickets are not the normal England type wickets. There's been a bit of movement with cloud cover. They're dry, so that probably, then hindsight around selection, as I well know, is an easy skill to have.
True.
But they'd probably have been better off having Ashwin and the 3 seamers. That's 5-man attack. I know that when they had a 4-man attack, that was sometimes difficult to do.
Exactly right.
Seamers, but the fact they've got 3 seamers and could play 2 spinners would seem to be a better balance. And Ashwin can back as Jadeja can. So
Absolutely.
I would say that might have been a bit of an error.
And I asked that question to Munchie as well before day one toss as well. My feeling was they should have gone instead of Thakur. They could have gone with Ashwin instead. There would have been bit of better balance for them. Because obviously,
but why would they do that? They didn't pick him for the entire series last year. They seemed to be off him for some reason in England.
I think
last year was a bit of a clash of personality, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think.
But anyway, the test is all but over. It is the Test match for England to lose from here.
Oh, they went by.
We-
Actually, they went by 7 wickets. Don't worry. We had
well,
the same.
that's what Norman predicted yesterday after his three magnums. He was on. He
Yeah,
was
that
spot
was,
on.
I think it was before the last one.
that was some demolishing of ice cream, wasn't it? Most in
Oh
yesterday?
man,
They were that big.
some shot.
They were minuscule. They were
Mate,
mini.
I'm sure, David, you cannot polish 3 magnums
Oh,
in
don't
one
worry.
sit.
I'm an ice cream fanatic.
Oh, you
so
are okay.
I was very,
Of course,
very jealous.
I'll have you know. I'll have you know that I was supposed to pick up my Thai green chicken curry. I was supposed to take the group on a little tour on the streets of Coogee down to my favourite restaurant. My meal is actually sitting there waiting, and I might with you take you into my car and we'll go down and get it. So Paul Newman was showing off last night. Paul Newman, you're showing off with your name. You're not Paul Newman.
he
Paul Newman.
was having
There is
fun.
there was a man by the name of Newman who's a famous England journalist, but you're not related. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
the Paul Newman writes for the Daily Mail. He
Exactly.
wrote
There you go.
Nasser Hussein's book.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Certain passages of that I
Yeah.
put it under the title why let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's
So-
it. That's it. I must say, David, this year it looks like it's going to be Bairstow's year. As we all know, last year was Ruth's year, and it's not that Ruth's not having good time with the bat, but what a time that Johnny Bairstow is having! It's just phenomenal with the bat.
Well, he's now getting most of a status, I think, within the game. Is that and it's happened with various players in their careers. Unless you
Yes.
get out, you will lose.
True.
And that doesn't matter if it's playing for Yorkshire, doesn't matter whether it's playing for Hyderabad or the franchise cricket. He is just a real heavy scorer. So
Exactly.
there is
It'd be good to
one.
have-
There
Look at
was
the scoreboard.
a
3
bit
for
of a,
286 in the last inning of a Test match. Who scores 3 for 286 at a
Last
rate
day.
like this? I've never seen that before. They're gonna. If it was 500, they'd probably get it today.
How's the press about baseball in the UK, David?
sorry.
How's the press about baseball or baseball?
Like normal sort of not cynical coverage, but sort of reserved English covering. Instead of going, well, this is the most fantastic thing you've ever seen. First of all, it was New Zealand had a lot of injured players. India just, and I would say, in fairness to India, that they, just to drop somebody in a country, play one practice match and then a test match, that is a really hard call. To be able to do that.
True. Agree.
And other than today, the weather has been pretty. It's not cold, but it's chilly. It would be chilly for the Indian players. So. Yeah, I think that was a big ask for them to do, but they were very kind. They said that they would fill that requirement. If England play the way they're playing, they will destroy South Africa. I can't see South Africa being any obstacle whatsoever.
You know, David, there's only one interest with England and Australia. That is the Ashes next year in England. I think that is going to that is just priming towards that. That spicy Ashes that I've always loved watching 2005 Ashes. That's, to me, that was one of the best Ashes that I have seen in my times. I think it's spicing up to be that next year.
If I was in charge of Australian cricketers, I would start making sure that their current seam attack and their spinner are wrapped up in cotton wool. Because if you look at the England attack and the number of bowlers they can't pick because they're injured, it shows you the strength and depth that England have. Whereas I'm not sure, and this is probably out of ignorance, you take those 4 bowlers or 5 bowlers with Cameron Green out, Norman, who comes behind that lot?
Well, they've certainly got Jamie Overton there. My God, he's batting and bowling was superb last match.
Very good debut. Very good debut.
Yeah, no. I was when he
and there's a drop.
He was in the who?
Oh, they were just showing the drop from yesterday. I thought there was another drop, but
Well, that's the thing, is that 12 months ago, Bairstow had a bit of an issue about the ball nipping back, and it was bowled through the gates a few times. I think that was caused because he was, I think, playing white ball cricket trying to open up the offside without actually
True.
realizing how much room he was giving himself.
That's true.
Now, you're a high level coach. You just get people to take off stump and just say,
Exactly.
fine, if you want your body shape to be a little bit more to the leg side, just make sure you're standing in front of the stumps and not giving them all up.
That's true.
So he's made a slight adjustment like that. But
Mm.
the way he has the bat at the point of delivery, he can pull off the front foot, cut off the front foot. He's just in the form of his life. And also playing bowling spin against him. He is such a violent sweeper, conventional sweeper from wide, long on, right. And he's not a delicate sweeper. He's trying to burst the ball most of the time. So
The best thing that I've observed in last probably 8 to 12 months in Johnny Bairstow, his shape into the shot has been fantastic. He hasn't lost his shape into the shot, whether it's spinner or a quick, and that's where his balance has been phenomenal.
I think one of the things, if I was coaching a young lad, is that fine, you can have your bat up high like that, but the one thing that you've got to do is to be very proactive with your front leg, because otherwise you'll be driving sort of stiff front leg on the top of the bounce, a bit like off a bowling machine. So that's actually his body position getting into the ball has been outstanding. And I'm sure, without asking him a direct question, having played in the IPL and amongst really technically very, very proficient players, also against really good spin, and also seam that's bowled at the end of the innings.
True.
And the quality of coaches that are involved in that tournament, he would have learnt a lot. So it's lovely to see when people are really at the top of their game. They must see this. Must be a football coming down at them, not a cricket.
Exactly, and it would be good if he's playing for one of the franchise in Big Bash. It would be excellent to see him. I would like to see him.
Now you're
I'd like
to
to see him.
BBL.
I'd like to see him in pink. I'd like to see him in sixes. Yeah.
David, have you heard of this new term for there's a little tournament happening in Queensland. It's going to be called the Baby BBL. My God.
Here we go.
Baby BBL.
There we go. Norman's
That's the BBL.
No,
Oh,
what it is, David? The Queensland Cricket is trying to have a 2020 early in the season, so they can get all the interstate players who are interested in getting a contract with Brisbane Heat to come and play for the clubs here. So that just gives them, the guys who are just up and coming and want to make a next level contract. So it's a good opportunity for them. There's a lot of
I think it's. I think if with these tournaments, if you're not portraying it as a closed shop, well, I was interested in. We're having some discussions. These are only just thinking aloud discussions. Nothing more happening. But this is more in schools cricket to open up to everyone. It's a bit like an FA Cup. Actually, everybody has a chance of winning. So in the UK, in theory, the village team playing football can play a sort of 25th round of qualifying, can in theory get to Wembley. Obviously, it wouldn't get to Wembley. It would be, I think, it has a nice ring to it. The road to Lords, it's available to everyone.
Exactly.
Do it in Australia, the road to the MCG, both at schoolboy level, but also and when I say schoolboy level, that's boys and girls. To maintain the interest in the game. So
exactly,
for state players to be able to have that tournament. I think that we've learned in terms of talent identification, the more opportunity you've got to look at players and seen by lots more people, you end up making the right decisions. So
that's true. That's true. No, 100% agree with that. 100%.
But I think there might be a slight over saturation of the market there in Australia. I think we're trying a little bit too hard in Australia at the moment to promote our short format, and I'm worried about that.
Well, we have it in England, though. We have not only the Vitality Blast, which is just finished, but then the 100 ball game as well.
Isn't that too much?
Well, you might say it's too much when you've won one test match out of 17. When you've just demolished New Zealand and won this Test match against India, you would say, well, no, it isn't.
No, it isn't. Yeah,
But
true.
I think what is happening, which I think is the right thing for all country, is there is now a real obvious separation of those who can play red ball cricket and those who can play white ball cricket, and having two different management groups to coach them.
I think it's good. I think it is really good for future cricket for England. I think they've done it well. I agree. Sorry to cut you off.
But that's the model I think most countries will follow, because everybody talks about fatigue for the players. The poor old coaches, technical coaches, physios, strength and conditioning, all the management groups. If you add up the time away in both scenarios, you're away forever and a day. So they've got families. So, and your freshness to do the job obviously dilutes as well. So.
Now, this comment, our favourite viewer who's come back today is Obama Babu, unusual name. Should Virat Kohli continue to sledge if he is struggling to score runs himself? He calls Anderson an old guy, but then succumbs to him. His old attitude worked well when he batted. Anyway, the fact is, there's this issue about his sledging.
Well, personally, to me, I think what made India a really tough side to beat was that it looks like when the people playing against them that you were aware that India meant business. You know, your own. What the batsman's batting side would say is that, you know, if you can silence the opposition in the field, you're winning the game.
True.
Sometimes the you know, all the noise at the beginning for the first 4 or 5 overs is a little bit over the top, because you can't sustain that all day long.
No.
So the batters will say to themselves, well, if they're silent, we know we're winning. So, but within the team, if Virat Kohli is a wonderful player, has been a wonderful captain, if he suddenly goes quiet, the rest of the team will say, we are losing.
We're in trouble.
That's true. That's true.
If he doesn't say anything, what else are we going to do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, just
And that's how he has played. And that's how he's played all his career. Like,
well, that gives him the energy to play, Muslim, really. You know, that's the fuel. And there are there's certain players that you just wouldn't go around slagging off, because you know that makes them they play better. So
exactly, and that's what happened first innings with Johnny Bairstow as well.
Yeah.
Paul Newman's making a very good point. My computer's getting cold. They know me. I'm a regular there. When I ring up, I go, hi, it's Norman. They go, green chicken curry plus rice and some spring rolls. I go, yes. I don't even say my order. They know my order.
They're not watching to lose the program because you're boring them.
They're probably watching me right now. I'm probably pretty sure.
Well,
I was in a day where I've gone through, because of my mother's passing, I had to go through all the jewelry today, because my sister in the will get all the jewelry, which I'm more than happy about. But then I noticed all these wedding rings, and there was my father's wedding ring,
right?
My own wedding ring, because obviously I'm divorced. But my mother put all the wedding rings together, my brother's wedding ring, my father's, and mine all together. And it was intriguing because I hadn't seen it before. So I thought, what are they doing here? And I actually realised the date of my parents' marriage. It was actually in November of 1956. So it was quite interesting. A bit of history, though. So it was quite a bit. And you'll see the back of my place is changing. I'm getting rid of all. My mother has about 400,000 paintings that she's painted over the last 25 or whatever years. And she's got thousands of them. All my nephews are getting all these ones, and I'm starting to put mine up there. So you'll see a changed wall coming up very soon.
Interesting. Good memories, Norman.
So what is that picture behind you there?
Well, you can't really see it, but it's actually Steve Orr shaking Tendulkar's hand. They've signed both of it. They both came to the Bradman Foundation dinner a few years ago, and I just decided to get it signed. And Steve laughed because he said to me, "You saw me last week, Norman. Why didn't you get me to sign it then?" I said, "Well, Sachin's here, that's why." And he laughed.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I must say, David, I went to that Pakistan Eid Mubarak or Eid Fitra event not real long ago. It was great. Great to see a whole bunch of people, including Stuart McGill, who's in fine form. It was great. And I'm looking forward to next year when I will be in England and the SCG11 will come to town. Will be more important than the Ashes, for sure.
Surely it is.
Will be the front runner on the MCC billboard at the front there. They'll have MCC 11 versus SCG 11 and bigger writing than the Australia England Test Series, I would have no doubt.
Well, it'd be interesting to see the reaction of because it makes me chuckle about when the opposition, either captain or coach, when asked about are you impressed or worried about where the opposition are playing, and Raul Dravid says, and Raul Dravid is really a well measured, unbelievably impressive man, fantastic player. He said, no, we just concentrate on our own game. Well, I would have to say that probably isn't true, actually. I would imagine that the Australians, or even now, are burning some candles late into the night to say, how are we going to counter this loss?
That's exactly right. And that's what my role is, David, when I'm with the teams. As a performance coach, you look at every single tiny bit of opportunity where you can see the patterns, you can see where you can try and get an advantage on the opposition by looking at whatever the patterns you can build, the areas you can bowl, or whatever the tiny bit of advantage you can gain.
That's what I'm doing here. Instead of having to career around the country to watch young talent play, I can basically on my computer see 10 games and watch people take wickets, score boundaries, watch it ball by ball. Still sometimes miss the body language of the player or how they interact with other players, but the amount of data you can get just sitting in an office is extraordinary, really. So, and that is the way. Norman asked about who's the chairman of selectors. Well, it's the national selector. I think that we have now a head of talent identification, which is a little bit much in what you do, together with the coach and the captain. The performance director and the talent is guys that I basically have appointed before. So it's just a different basis. I think Australia would be the same way.
Absolutely.
So is Trevor Holmes still the convener, the head of selectors?
No. Bailey.
George Bailey is.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so George Bailey.
I was going to send a medal to Trevor Holmes because must have done it for about 25 years.
Yeah, he's done it for a long time. Yeah, no, he's done it for a long time. So
and what a delightful man he is. God,
absolutely, no, he's I've had good interactions with him in Brisbane and Sydney. He's a fantastic fellow.
Do you see him? Do you see him a lot?
I used to see him a lot, but not in last 6 months or so.
But if your paths do cross, give him my best because he was.
I'll definitely do that.
I've only had the upper hand once in 2005, and that was only.
And that was
only because Shane Warne managed to drop Peterson, but he's always been very understanding when I've been in Australia. But we've got when Hussain put Australia in at Brisbane. Condemned us to 5-0.
That's right.
So he's just a delightful man. And actually, to be fair, cricket in the main has some really good people. No matter what the country is, they've got some really good people who are involved.
Definitely. I was catching up with Ryan Harris on Saturday, and we were talking about Ashes and his spell in that Gabba Test match. And we were coaching, and then one of the younger fellows asked him, what was your in the opposition, who was the hardest person to bowl to? And he said KP. It was because he was always using the crease, he was coming at him, and he was not afraid of taking the attack. And I see that comment was so relevant when I saw last night when they were chasing 370 and the attitude is no fear, we're going to get it. The openers, which I question quite a lot all through New Zealand series, whether they're going to perform or not, and they did perform yesterday, which was really good to get a good start. And the attitude is
for their confidence, but they're still they'll still be challenged when they get, because they aren't in the series of white ball cricket that's now going to be played. So there is a bit of a gap, and sports like that, days like today, and it'll be quite rightly, and if they get on over the line, which seems likely to happen, they should get the accolades that they will, because it's history making. It's not the biggest run chase ever, but it's up there in terms of a run chase. But it's more in the manner that they've gone about their tasks.
Exactly. And just one more question for you, David. Sorry, no.
Go.
I was just going to ask one more question. Is the next slot, how quick or how ready the next slot would be if England decide to go drop these two guys for the opening spot? Is Compton ready to come in, and who else you think?
I think in English cricket, I don't know where it happened in Australia, there is a bit of a rush to bat at 4, 5, and 6, not in 1, 2, 3. So the best player by far of the younger crop is again somebody that I've had the privilege to sort of be involved with, is Harry Brook, again another York player.
Yep.
Opening batsmen they've been a bit more prolific because the weather has been dry in this country. But it's still, still seeing scoreboards that are, 20 for 2. And I think it really is difficult to open the batting. It doesn't matter whether it's dry or whatever. The ball will still do something, a little bit like a kookaburra for a short period of time. And if you're coming off the back of playing white ball cricket, it's incredibly difficult to leave the ball, basically, and line it up. Brendan McCallum plays in a manner that he would follow the adage, well, I'm going to stop you bowling. And that's what will KP do that. Ryan Harris would probably realise that he wasn't quite quick enough to hit somebody on the head, or Peterson wouldn't have a problem about pulling him. What he wanted was for the batter to be static at the crease, and for him to blow, which he was fantastic at, blow back and hit the seam. He's very much an English seaman.
Yeah, just quickly. I just want to interrupt. Jimmy Neesham has posted in social media. He's talking about the way that Kohli and Bairstow have been carrying on. He says, why do opposing teams keep making Johnny Bairstow angry? LOL, laugh out loud. He gets 10 times better. Give him a gift basket each morning. Let him know you are having his car valeted while he's betting. Anything to keep him happy. You might not have that result.
That's right.
It was funny.
Well, we had the same thing when Jack Russell was an outstanding wicketkeeper for Gloucester. And he was renowned for trying to get under the skin of the opposition. So, working with Mike Appleton when he was England captain, we were like having a beer or something like that. And he said, what's Jack's on? What's he on? What's he trying to get under everybody's skin? I said to Athers, why don't you just take guard, turn around to Jack, because he was standing up most of the time, and say, Jack, how is Aileen, his wife, and how are the kids? How are they doing? Because that will get him confused. He will not know what to do then.
Fantastic call.
But actually, you need to pick your targets.
Exactly right.
Jimmy's quite right. If you wind up the wrong bloke, he'll go ballistic. There are some that actually. I can remember playing against Worcester, which was my uncle's club, and they had a left arm spinner who was dare I say it's emotional. I think when he played, so I said to our batsman, I said, right, I'm prepared to lose a couple of wickets, but I want you to go in and slog him from ball 1, and make it as ugly as you possibly can, because he will just explode in the end, which he did.
No, that's very cool. Norman, your dinner's getting cold. You want us to leave you alone, or
no. I mean, they know I'm going to come. They've got it on some, warm up heat mechanism. Don't worry.
It's just that we've got the privilege of having David in the company, and it's hard to get hold of him and pick his brain.
I've got an update. Joe Root is on 99. He's suddenly gone crazy. He's 99 not out. Bairstow's 92.
some of the
Three for
cover
100,
drives he played.
310.
Some of the cover drives he played just recently. I'm watching cricket on the other screen. It's just so good to watch.
Well,
Um,
he's a proper player.
and there's no doubt that he's right up the top, and there's no one close to him. Last year, he scored 10 hundreds since he was labelled that he can't convert his 50s into hundreds, and now he's the man at the moment.
Well,
Well, he's on 99 at the moment.
I do think most that I think it was really hard for everybody.
He's just scored 100.
with a bubble. Then, but some people reacted even worse than that. You know, when they've got young families, and you're asking your wife to bring up your family on her own, which is hard, to say the least.
Joe Root has just done this. He's
I know why.
Brother, and he's his little finger up in the air
like
to
see the
Mccallum.
media
What was that all about? He's gone like this with his little finger.
It must be a code. Anyway, guys, I've got to lovingly you, Norman. No doubt, you'll be recalling everybody at the end of this at some stage. Merson, very good to see you again.
Very good to see you, David. Thank you very
David.
much.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Wonderful to have you, listening to your comments, and it's always pleasure.
No. See you again.
So England are 3 for 314.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. How good is Joe Root? And
Joe Root is just balls has gone over the stuff. What did he do? He's hit the ball to the ground.
Yeah, it was just bounced up high. So they're showing the replay of his 100, and he's phenomenal. It's just so pleasing to see a guy who's labelled he cannot convert 50s into 100, and all of a sudden he scored 1200 since then. So it's phenomenal. I think he will probably continue to excel towards that 15,000 run mark that Sachin has set up. He's got plenty of years ahead.
Past Bairstow, because Bairstow was 10 runs in front of him. All of a sudden he's 10 runs in front of him.
Did you see that cover drive again? Did you see that that drive? It's just effortless. So it's
318 on a 5th day wicket. My God.
Yep.
I don't believe they're saying it's a flat track. I don't believe that. I don't think.
No. I think the ball was reversing when they changed it this morning. So since they've changed the ball, and they've changed actually 2 after that, and both of the balls have not swung an inch. So the ball that they started off the day with, that was actually reversing, and they're everyone's talking about why they're changing the ball. They changed it, and since then the run rate has gone another notch up. So before you know it, 60 runs will be an easy chase before lunch. I think they can extend lunch for 30 minutes if they can see a result. So
what time? What time is it now? It's
be close to an hour. To lunch, I think. Yeah, an hour.
An hour and 12 minutes to lunch. They may go an hour and 42 because they started half an hour early.
That's right. So, no, they'll be fine.
Ridiculous. So they've only got
59 to get
runs to win. That'll come in a canter. And Bairstow hasn't gone into 4th gear yet, or 3rd gear.
No, exactly. All right, Norman, I'll let you go and get your dinner, because obviously you want to polish off a couple more magnums, I suppose. I'm going to actually go and get
ready for
myself
this
an ice cream as well.
All right.
Thanks, mate. We'll probably catch up soon. I'll go and get myself an ice cream as well.
Okay, you do that.
All right. Thanks, mate. Talk to you. Thanks to the audience.
Thanks, Moses.
Bye.
So there we have. We've had both David Gravely from England, former chairman of selectors of England, chairman of selectors of England on my show. How is that? Mohsen Sheikh, former under-19 Pakistan coach, as well as coached many levels of high performance across many teams, whether it's the BBL, whether it's been the IPL, whether it's been state cricket. He's amazing. Going for the Sri Lankan job. Incredible. I'm not going anywhere, Paul. And there we have it. Right. Joe Root's on 108. So are you going to come with me? Guys, we can't go yet. We've still got a fair bit of the match to go here. We can't have you go just yet. I'm going to go pick up my food, though. It's My God, I should have picked it up an hour and a half ago. An hour and a half ago. Can you believe it? Let's just see if they got. Let's make a call and see whether the food's ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ring up Chat Time, my little restaurant, and say, I'm sorry, I forgot to. Let's see what they say. If my food's ready, I'm going to go and I'll stick to the channel.
Yeah, can I help you?
Hi, sorry, it's Norman. I'm late picking up my order. I'm very, very sorry. Is it still okay to come and pick it up?
Yeah, so we will order first.
Is my order is I ordered it an hour ago. Is it still okay?
Are you see?
My
Thai.
yeah, my green.
Norman?
Yes, I'm coming. I'm late.
Check with Thai that your order ready.
Okay, I'll come. Okay.
Yeah, see you soon, Norman.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. How's the fun situation? Irene, it's the mission close with won't close until I've had my food. The flood situation at the moment is not good, Irene Singh. Sydney's had a lot of problems. So what we're going to do, we're going to go for a bit of a walk. Let's just make sure I've got some. Just give me a second, guys. It seems like we got everything pretty much there. Yeah, everything seems to be good. All right, so guys, we're going to go. You want to come for a walk with me? We want to go to the restaurant, all right? And we can continue watching the cricket while we're going to. Let's get a move on, shall we? Oh my God, this is going to be fun. I have to go and get some food. And you can join me on the little trip. Anyway, let's get this. In rather wet conditions, guys. Yeah, so people, hopefully England haven't won the match before we get off. Walking up some stairs here. Out into the rain. Here we go. Freezing cold here in Australia. Freezing cold. Let's go to the car. Start the engine up. Freezing. Getting in my car. I almost lost my pants. All right, so what are you eating? I'm eating sacred pickle. I'm not eating sacred pickle. I'm actually going to eat a Thai chicken curry. It's almost an hour and a half late because I was trying to get it before I started the show. I just have to quickly close this camera up there. You can follow me there, guys. What's the temperature? Sacred pickle, the temperature is, what is it now? It's 15 degrees Celsius. Bloody cold. Turn this music off. All right, let's make a little move here. Guys, I'm back. Sorry, I haven't lost you there, have I? I'm back, guys. Get that light back on. There we are. I'm back. Can you hear me? All right. Had to change phones there for a minute because I basically lost the channel there for a minute. So I hope you didn't lose me. What am I eating? I'm eating Thai chicken curry. Going to do a bit of a U-turn here and park for a simple second. Let's have a look here. Here we go. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll go. You want to come with me to the restaurant? Come with me to the restaurant. I'll go and pay for my food. I'll get out of here. You're going to go to a Thai restaurant. Quite hilarious, actually. Paul, you must be their best customer. I am, Paul. I'm their best customer. All right. Let's go and see this. All right, might be able to hear me now. I'm running very late. I'm sorry. Hello. I'm running very late. You know why I'm running late? Because I'm on. Say hello. You're live on. You're live on television. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm live. I've got a cricket channel. I talk to the world about cricket. All right. Done? Thank you. Thank you. All right. So. All right. Here we go. I have my we can just take the food. As you can see, guys, I've got my food here. Got my Thai chicken curry. Ready to go. Coughing away, spiraling away. Yeah. There we are. All right, we're back. Show my surroundings. I can't really show you too much. There's not a lot to see. There's a bit of street there. This is Coogee. Oh, there we are. Coogee, the streets. Coogee. I'm the best customer. Yes, you are, right. What's the score in the game? Let's do a quick. I can't get any scores in the game either. Let's just get back home, shall we? All right. Wait until some traffic goes. Trying to reverse here. There's a car coming. There we are. All right, we can just jut out now. Hopefully nobody. Yep, all right, let's go. So that's the way I was meant to do that earlier. I've done it now, so I've got the food. So we're not very far from. I'm on my same street, Carrington Road in Coogee, in Sydney, Australia. I'm now driving along, heading up the street. You hear the beeping. Anyway, I'm back. Am I still there, guys? I think I'm still there. Wait, I'm actually live, as you know. I have to just get myself parked and get myself back here, and I'll be able to refer back to the same. Come on, let's go. Come on, off you go. Oh, Jesus. Oh. There you go, the traffic conditions there. I'm back, guys. So we're gonna reverse back into here. In fact, there we go. We're almost back on here. So, hello, I'm listening. So, Jana Shimona is listening. Are you not only listening? I hope you're watching. You can't just be watching Jana Shimona. You've got to be watching. Let's go into my restaurant there. Janet or Shimona, we know who he is. Why don't you join Janet or Shimona? Why don't you join the show instead of being just on the outside of the show? Why don't you watch the show? I've got my Thai chicken curry. England's going to bang, bang, bang. I know they're going bang, bang. Let me see what the score is. I can probably get a bit of a better handle now. I'm here. Let's go. Let's just see what we got here. I can actually see the broadcast. Not wrong. No, I can't. But we'll get there. So yeah, they're going. I like Coogee. Did you get? I got my tie. Yes, I have. Donald Chisamona, come on the show. You're supposed to be coming on my show. I'm going to just 2 seconds, guys. I've just got to sort myself out here. Okay, well, we're kind of not well parked, are we? I might go in reverse and just check with my parking. Is anything good? Oh, it's okay. That's not bad. Okay, I've turned the engine off. Just go, and then I'll bring my Thai chicken curry with me. Only 11 people. Just like, let me get this myself sorted. So that's what. Now we can get the people there. It's freezing cold. The food's been waiting for them for an hour. All right, let's just get this up here. Let's just get this. Okay. Got the key. Bit disorganised, guys. Sorry, can't help that. I do 50. Can't be on TV and be getting in and out of the car at the same time. Seem to be all locked up now. It's good. Heading back in. We'll work out what's going on here. Must be all. That's all right. We're going to be back inside. And I can start to eat the meal. Here. For a split second, that meal back in. I'll open the door. How many times do you have a show where the host has to go and get his own meal? Not very common. India lost already. How can they lost? I know how they've lost, but have they lost officially? Or is what you're just expecting them to lose? All right. We're here. Having to get food. If Charles Shimona was here, she would be getting me the food, but she's not. All right. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. Let's put myself down here. I'll get this all sorted. Guys, don't worry. Don't fret. No stress. Get my food. Weird. On the cold side, but I'm here. Let's go. I'm here, guys. I'm just feeding myself. Give me a sec. Must be very chilly there. Okay. Not as hot as it should be. Anyway. You're not going to see me without pants on. All right. Here is my Thai chicken curry. And here I am. I'm back. Now, let's try and I'll change back to this program. How do I do that? Oh, we have two Normans. Let's get rid of that one. There we are. I'm back. All right, guys. What's the Paul Newman nice joke? What's the nice joke? About me, that's nasty. All right, I'm back. All right, guys. Hello, I'm listening. All right, so let's just watch a bit of cricket, shall we? Let's try and get some cricket up. Look, England look to be certain they don't know the way they're going. Let's have a look here. Bairstow's having a field day. What looks like a field day at the moment. Quite incredible. Okay, yeah, Rush Shot Punch certainly has taught a lot about the new brand of cricket. I'm afraid it's called Bazball. You learn it from 3 for 331. Bairstow 97, Root 114. Phenomenal. 47 runs to win. Who wins 3 for 331 in the last innings? Bringing Jadeja on, probably a little bit late, you would argue. Would actually make a difference? Oh, no. I don't think England prepared a flat pitch at all. Like you would hope that Jadeja can resurrect some confidence with a couple of wickets. Oh, my God. My green chicken curry is still good. Indian selection is poor. Well, they probably should have Ashman. John Tomash, join me. Let's have a look at it. So, England are 3 for 331. Jadeja's having a bit of luck. He's laughing. He's belonging to a man who was a very good player of spin, by the way. Johnson Shimona, come on here. A 3 for 331. Who would have ever guessed that would be the score? Bairstow surprisingly claimed up a little bit. He's on 97. Rich playing this Ross and Dickwell top shot. Let's see how England perform. Obviously, Portland at the moment, they're unstoppable. So am I with this great green chicken curry. I'm bloody unstoppable. Who's going to finish first? England getting the score or me finishing my curry? Yeah, Brook bowl has dominated every bowling except for Australia. That's probably a fair point, especially in Australia. I've got every opportunity to do that in next year's Ashes. And seriously, Root, he's just batting like a champion. India have been lauded after what looked like an impossible place to lose. How many mags went? Not many, Paul, because I've had this lovely Thai chicken curry. So Root 115. Bairstow has gone quiet. He's on 97. He's only scored a fairly small amount of runs today. But he's been outdone by Brook. Let's see how Brook goes. Brook is just murdering them. He's walked down, just taken Takur to chance, right, a la bloody Mccallum. Rich saying, well, if Bairstow can do it and Stokes can do it, I can do it. Lees can do it. Even bloody Crawley could do it. They've got the bat well up the splice. Satay chicken in my favourite. It's not satay chicken, Paul. It's Thai green curry. Chicken green curry. Green chicken curry. And plenty of rice. Joe Root has just smacked Takua out of the park almost. With great intent. And there he's just taken some weird looking reverse sweep shot and reverse, what they call it, the scoop. This is ridiculous. 342. They need 30 runs to win. Humiliation of these IPL supers of being bashed around in double quick time. Well, that's probably a fair point. That was a bizarre shot. He just double scooped over. He went. Tyco was looking very ordinary. Hard to imagine. England smash him. Nice to have. Chocobar ice cream. Although, no, it's not chocobar, it's actually a green chicken curry. 3 for 342 here. Route 125 off 161 deliveries. Bairstow 97 off 126. So how do you play that? Most bizarre shot for my liking. Bairstow 97. Really, this is quite embarrassing. 3 for 342. Most of the day to spare. Barely 2 sessions yesterday, into the third now. Already 334, 342. Route 64, 109, 180, 33, 121, 21. Can't keep up. Come on, Bairstow, let's see. You finish this off now. This is a terrible, terrible day for India, I tell you. Not the scoreline that you would have expected. Even last night, you would expect them to take a few wickets and do something rather, decent in terms of bringing some respectability to the game. But they've actually gone the reverse. They've been humiliated with some very contemptuous batting. Well, Bairstow's got the strike at least. And get yet another century. What are India doing? They're bowling sections of import. Let's put it in perspective a minute, Josh. I'm unsure. India scored 416 in the first innings. And England couldn't even get 284 or so. So there are 132 runs in arrears already. Then, and they fell a bit short with 245. They still gave a 377 lead. Should have been enough. Not when you play England this mood. England's just taken it up another gear. Not only are they past 300, they've only lost 3 wickets. They're 345 for 3 with 33 ones to win it. Now, Bairstow's just knocked a single. He's 98 and Root is 126. And they'll probably hit a few fours more in this over. Okay, Tucker's bowled something a little bit short. Actually called it wide. I don't think it was a wide. Anyway, incredible. Well, let's wait and see how far we're shooting. So India batted poorly in the third innings, to be fair. They did. They still had a 377-run lead, Paul. Sam Hislop, India are full. Pick Gill and Test side. Gill is not a great person. Well, he's not been informed, that's true. India batting in third innings was below par. Okay, Nescafe, you're probably right. But in the scheme of things, they were well ahead. So it shouldn't have mattered. England should not have got 3 for 346. That is where the issue really is. I don't think the innings of India should have said it earlier. They should have got them out for 230 on. Won the bloody match. That's what they should have done. But no. Bairstow and the like of show us up. Come on, Bairstow, get 100. He deserves it. Congratulations there. Quite a clever bowler. Bairstow's lost his mojo a little bit here. Mojo. English go for 550. Well, they didn't get a chance to. Gill had a couple of 50s in Australia conditions. Technically sound batsman. I think he's not bad. They did well in their first innings. Well, punt and the like. You didn't see that, guys. Another slow. Bairstow, 98. I mean, Shaday's bowling some pretty negative bowling, but it's working. India ever what? Let's go. Since then, his downfall has started this quick. I think you've been with hard. Gill's not the reason why India have lost this match. What the reason is? Bairstow is one reason. And the first thing, he was the only one to score runs. And he bowled well. And he bowled well and batted well in the first innings. They batted okay in the second innings, but England are just. Let me summarise what's gone on in this match, in my opinion. India batted particularly well, got 416 both Rishabh Pant and Jadeja got centuries. Then England batted quite ordinary, except for Bairstow. They got a fairly ordinary score of 284. So 132 in arrears. Then India went back and didn't bat as bad as well, yeah, but they had sufficient lead. They should have. But the fourth innings, England has just turned around and Bairstow 98, Brook 127, the 50 and 40 for the openers. They've cruised. It's not Gill's fault. There's Bairstow's getting his century in a single, which is Joe Root played 121 tests, 81. Steve Smith played 86 tests at 33. What is this norm? Well, the truth is, Sebastian, that Joe Root in England played more test matches. Smith lost a year, don't forget, because of his suspension. That's one reason. And he was dropped at one stage too. Unexpected, did not expect India bowling will leak so many runs. True. But Root's just purple patch. Good old Siraj is trying to the end. England have not lost a wicket this morning. England have not lost a wicket. They're 3 for 350. This is quite incredible. Sam Hislop, Indian cricket are fools. No, they're not fools. That's not true. I don't think India could have defended 450 either. the way they're going, they couldn't have defended 500. Which would have broken all records. Brook, give Bairstow the strike, get his 100. Oh, Root's just having fun out there. He was clobbered it. Tucker was taking a pacing. Tucker was taking a monumental pacing. So Ice Cream Australia not giving baggy green to Jason Sanger. He is better than Gil. Well, that's a good point, Sam Hislop. I'm totally behind you on that one. I think Jason Sanger should have. He may not be doing that well at the state level as they had hoped. But put him at the national level, he would have been fantastic. Continuously. He would have been another Root. The way they're going, Bairstow's going to be stranded on 99. 3 for 356. Root's 135. Bairstow 99. For God's sake, Bairstow, hit your 100 now, and they get that over and done with. The only wow, sure, wow, England test impressive since 2009. Actually, began feeling how wow, it's true. Suffolk McCallum, do you think, Norman, the way England played against New Zealand, the entire minute was with England? No, it wasn't always with them. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was at all. Ebden flowed this match to India in ascendancy after the 2 innings. They went into the third with complete control. We all were thinking that India would not only not lose the match, but they would win it. It's backflipped based on one thing: the baseball attitude of the Bairstows in life. Bairstow is finally going to face. And Ben Stokes is still going to come. It's only 22 runs. They don't even need Ben Stokes. They don't even need Ben Stokes. He normally was the man at Edgbaston who takes charge at the end. They only lost 3 wickets. X is a player with 15k runs, average 50, and B is a player with 11k. Who is better player record to you? 15 to 50. Bairstow's got to score 1 run. He better hurry up because looks like Root's determined to score the other 22. Would you rate this the best England team ever? No, well, that's way too dramatic. When Peterson and the like were together, that was a better side in a lot of ways too. They're playing really well at the moment, definitely. Here we go. Bairstow, 99. No, oops. He's not like you. Bairstow's like clammed up somehow. This is very strange. And Root's not happy. There it is. Bairstow, 100 runs. England need 21 to win. And Bairstow's hit yet another century. Let's see if they go. Well, that's a good question, Paul. I do like that question. Let's see them how they go in Pakistan. They're going to be up against a bit there. Bairstow's 1,287 tests, 4th in 5 innings. Incredible. 4th Test century for the last 5 innings. Can't do better than that. Now, this single side is totally dependent on Root. Australia bowlers can get Root easily. Yeah, that's true. Not bad point, Sam, is it? Thursday is the T20 series is starting. Do you think India should forget this and focus on the T20s? Well, they've got no other else. They kept the Patatis trophy, so they're going to be happy with that. 2-all. This match should have been played last year. Here we are. Not out. England 3 for 357. Nearly 21 runs to win. Bairstow scored a century as well as good old Root's taking the ball from way out to the leg stump there, and he got himself a single. England need 20, and they haven't lost a wicket today at all. They need 114 today, and they haven't lost a wicket in doing that. India keep the trophy. That's true. And they do hit the throw ball. All right. They had 114. Well, they scored 94 in this session already. England have smashed New Zealand. They're smashing India. It's incredible. I like no winner Western Sydney. The real test for England will be in the subcontinent conditions in test matches. Do you think, Greece? South Africa, I totally agree with you. South Africa, you're perfectly right. Subcontinent conditions. They're going to play against Pakistan before too long. It'll be interesting. And Root's just toying with this. He's just getting runs at will. 3 for 359. This is a phenomenal performance. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Nothing short of brilliant from the Englishman, must say. Not a new subscriber yet. And we'll struggle on ranked turn as well. You've got to give him some Caspers. I can see Casper making comments. You got to give him some credit. You can't knock him together. You can't just say that they're going to do this, they're going to do this. The reality is they haven't. They've been absolutely bloody sensational. Live day 5. We've got not a huge number of 171. Okay. It's not flying through the door. It was doing okay. The 8th largest run chase in history has been a stroll in the park. Bat hasn't faced a challenge from the ball for the last 200 runs. Correct, 608 tests in 2024. So quite incredible. With the way England is playing, do you think they can qualify for the World Test Championship in 2025? Well, it's a bit early to be saying that. But the way they're going, they keep going. Yes, of course. BSA moves on to 108 now. Siraj, oh my God, he's just pulling at will. His Bairstow, oh my God, since he's got his 100, he's opened the shackles and off he's gone. They need 7 more to win. They haven't lost a wicket. They've scored 114 today without a wicket being taken. Incredible. That's absolute murder, carnage. He's just played an incredible bang. He's just clipped it out of the ground. Incredible. This is embarrassing for him. It is a little bit. This is the last time they haven't taken a wicket. Ooh, that was a bit sharp. Siraj did not like being hit. He's none for 97 off his 15 overs almost. Best 112, Root 137. Who needs Ben Stokes? He watched the ball. In less than a month, a test quick. Johnny Bairstow's made 583 runs of exactly 583 balls. There you go. That's quite a stat there, Samash. Good ball pulled up. Where'd you get that from? 6 more to win. Well, that's a pretty clued in way of getting it. Hit a big 6 and finish up. Unbelievable. If, as we said, 500 would have been, they would have got 500 the way they go. Look at the bowling figures. Bromwell's only with 2 wickets. Sharmi number 64. Today's number 56. Siraj number for 98. He's gone for 6.5. He's been very expensive. Tucker number for 65 for off. Yeah, so the first 39 tests he scored 600. The last 8 tests 600. That's exactly right. It's quite some incredible stats coming out. Yeah, so in 79 tests, Bairstow scored 6 centuries. In the last 8, he scored 600. That's pretty amazing. Here we go. Today it's just like Root's having fun with that ball. He's just at 4. There we are. We've got one more to win. They have piled 114 runs this morning with great ease in very short time. Best they thought they'd won. Not realising there's still 1 run to get. Roots 141 not out. Bears so 114 not out. Coley smiles. They're not really smiling about it. There it is. Have cruised. Have not lost a wicket this morning. England are now 3 for 378. Lanka versus Australia on Friday, correct? Or what's well played. So has England win by 7 wickets. Incredible. Incredible indeed. We have a result that no one really accounted for. I'm trying to get oh, I can't go no. I'll try and get that other. England had just taken. There we are. Any very deserves to lose is absolutely stuffed. Well, they've had to lose in the last day or so, but certainly not in the first 2 days. Okay, so Chris Vernon's about to come on and join us and give us a bit of a debrief. So we've gone into this. It's quite disturbing. Chris Vernon about to join us. We're all watching. You'd hope so. You know, both the Thurman family are going to come on and gloat. That's all right. I can accept that. I have every right to. I'm not worried. I'm happy for India. I'm happy for Australia. I'm happy for England. Cricket all round is the winner. I'm very impressed by that. So, well, it has firms. One thing it has firms. Australia will win in the so-called. Why is it not? Not good. Let's see what they're looking. I think Aussies are just glad that Ashes aren't this summer. I would probably think the same because they could be absolutely humiliation. We're waiting for these guys to come on. Whether they do or not, it's another thing. One of those very disturbing series wins that the dominance of England has been quite remarkable. I think this is really very special in a lot of ways too. They've certainly come out of the woodwork here and shown they've got the ability more than you would ever have expected. and that's very, very important. It's such a short answer. Can England win the T20 World Cup? Well, if they keep this form up with Matthew Mott now coaching and Mccallum in the background, it'll be very impressive indeed, as a matter of fact. Paul Newman, is that your real name? Because there is a famous journalist that I know, I think, or relatively famous journalist, and this is certainly a surprise in itself if it is you, but I do know you. I know you with your daughter. So Chris Vernon's coming on for the first time literally this summer, and it is quite a... India really now need changes in the upcoming Blasters, which are going to happen in the future. We've got Joe Root having a bit of a natter.
That new ball around on the wicket that was doing a bit was incredible batting. It really made the work that we had to do after that a lot easier, and they deserve a huge amount of credit because it was a sublime partnership. It really was against a world-class attack.
Take you back though, when the captain said, we're going to chase, did you go, oh, right, okay, wow?
So chasing all season against New Zealand and now again India are in the 70s.
It's just the feeling in the dressing room at the minute is whatever you get, we're going for it and we're going to take it down.
Fun.
Great fun.
And a word on Johnny. I mean, his form, you know him well, has just been staggering.
Yeah, it looks like...
You used to forget that England have only squared the Series 2 all. That's true, Suresh. Ron Coley, shameless India cricket team. Even banned... No, you can't do that. No, it's not shameless. They were just beaten by a side that's got a hell of a lot of momentum.
When he's come in this summer, and even it's back end of the winter,
it certainly has a lot of
the
momentum.
way he's been batting, it's just been exceptional. And it's players to stand at the other end. Sometimes a bit scary when he starts smashing them straight back at them.
It might be the best fourth innings clutch. I'd say in terms of an emphatic nature, because they haven't even reached lunchtime. They could have scored 200 more runs today. They could have chased 570, maybe even 600. All right. Chris Verner's not far away from joining, I think. Joe Root. Quite incredible. It has been a sensational test match to watch. Where is he? He was here a minute ago. Ban Indian cricket team. No. So Chris Van's having problems with his mic. Where is Munchie? Good point. Where is Munchie? So I can get Munchie in. I'll get Munchie in. Munchie would be there to gloat, wouldn't he? Waiting on them to join. Okay, so where is Munchie? Well, I've just messaged Munchie. The losers of world cricket in the third class team, shameless coach. No, I don't think he can be that hard on Robert. It's been a pretty emphatic win, yes, but I don't know whether it's the lost cause of India. No, I don't want to say that. So, Ashley Giles is there. 3 for 378. That's just phenomenal. I almost can't comprehend that. There we go. Chris is trying to get on. There we are. Munchie's joined.
Hey, Norman. Good morning, everyone.
Munchie. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Just in Paul's
Absolutely unbelievable. Actually, Chris Vernon's trying to get on. He's having some video problems. He's running hard to get on.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a tag team because I can only spare a few minutes, Norman. But as it says, it's roughly lunchtime here now, so I can do a few minutes in between. Yeah.
I mean, Richard's just made a comment. Undercooked India, as I predicted. In all seriousness, England are playing cricket at a different level at the moment. The truth is, it's not undercooked India. It's just superlative England.
Probably a bit of both, actually. India had the warm up game at Leicester, which was mixed sides, so you had their own players playing against each other. So you could say that there was a little element there, but they still scored 480 in the first innings. 416 in the first innings, and England replied with 280. So there was still India was still performing. I think this is when I agree with you. It's just England just have this next level at the moment. And Joe Root was just mentioning this. So yeah, England's fourth innings there, it was dependent on the openers who, for the rest of the series and against New Zealand, who would have thought the least reliable people. So for both of them to perform well and go out and attack the ball. Alex Lee, last night was actually talking. He was going out with the intention of, where can I hit a six? And I think this is the mentality that Stokes and McCallum are endearing to the team. It's just like, right, this is, we're going to go for it. And of course, Root and Bairstow gave a couple of chances, but on the whole, they just played the ball around. And you have two players at the top of their game, peak form. Bairstow this summer, Root for the last couple of years. So it was very good. And of course,
well, Root said very interestingly after the match. He said that as a group they said we're going to go out and get them. That's a very it's more than just hard cricket. It's venomous. It's vicious, but in a way that's positive. That makes it. We're going to go out and get them. We're going to maul them.
Yeah, and I think Subhash has just made the comment there about the England chasers at the moment. If you look in the last four innings or the four Test matches that England have chased and chased well, 5 wicket, 5 wickets, 7 wickets, 7 wickets, 7 wickets. And it's just phenomenal. Again, don't forget, this is India's, I won't say biggest defeat, but it's the highest score in the fourth innings for India to have conceded. And this is not a weak India side. They've got some quality players there. It's just at the time, you could say that England yesterday, the conditions were very much in their favour. The sun was shining. The ball really wasn't zipping around and the variation, but you still had to do it. And at times you just have to say when someone is batting that well, and I've seen it. We've seen it with Pujara and we've seen it with Kohli. Unfortunately, Sharma wasn't playing. We've seen it with them. When these guys are on form, no matter what you're bowling at them, they will hit the ball all over the place. England were just lucky, you just got the couple of players who are on excellent form at the moment. And I think it was a bit towards the end where Root has reverse swept Thakur for 6, and the commentary was, well, that was just ridiculous. And apparently Johnny Bairstow at the other end had said, well, that's ridiculous. Unfortunately, he did actually add an expletive in there at the moment. But Joe Root's just on that sort of form at the moment. It's very difficult to bowl at him.
But it's
And yeah,
contagious.
Boomer and Shami are bringing out some brilliant deliveries. The backup bowling wasn't great. Yeah, they have performed better. But Boomer was still bowling some snorters. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's contagious. The likes of Bairstow and Stokes have shown the way. Then
Yeah.
Lee's got involved there. Then Crawley to an extent. Pope to an extent in one early part of the series. And obviously Root. The entire batting lineup has basically had a real red-hot crack.
Yeah. And the key thing that Mccallum was saying is talking about loyalty, and he was talking about it at the end of the last test with Lees and Crawley, and he said, "Yeah, they are good players. They will come good. They will have their moment." And they just had it now. Lees was unfortunately run out, and Crawley, I really don't like batsmen just leaving. I mean, I think from looking at cricket, there are only two places you can really leave the ball properly like that, and that's the Wacker and Brisbane, because the ball bounces that high. And Crawley was disappointed in himself. There's no point beating him about it. He had batted well, and Lees would have kept going. Unfortunately, Root didn't appreciate that Lees doesn't run as quickly as Bairstow did, so he got himself run out.
So I was going to quickly say, I describe England. Okay, look at this point here. And 145 years of Test cricket, 50s in the successful chases with over 75. England just now 4 in a row. That's it's a mindset. It's an attitude. It's we're going to go out and get them. We're going to maul you, and it's almost like they leave the best to the fourth innings. They build up to it. The fact is, India after the first 2 innings were 132 runs ahead. We all were saying then that's it. But we said similar things in the New Zealand matches as well. It's like, wait a minute, guys. We don't that sort of doesn't end until the fat lady sings. And the fact is, it's true. They have done, in my opinion, something that I would never have expected. I mean, I did say 5 sessions ago, I said when in England, when India were all out, they had 377, 378 to win England. I thought they can do this easily. They've got 5 sessions, and they've done it in 3.
Yeah, well, I did predict that England would win, but I certainly wouldn't predict that this was the manner of the victory. And after the first innings, I would have predicted quite easily that India would have won as well, because they were, as I say, 130 runs. It just shows you yesterday, because they're talking about the Baz ball and the aggressiveness of the batting and the positive, but it's also the bowling. If England hadn't have got the 7 wickets so quickly yesterday, they wouldn't have a chance to set up the 378. If India had taken that to say 450, then England would have gone for it, but the chances of actually getting it probably a lot slimmer. Yeah.
The reality is, at the moment, they could have, if they kept batting in this manner, which they had Stokes and the like to come, 500 was the total they could have reached. They could have broken all barriers.
Conditions, even if England needed 20 with 3 wickets left and India had the new ball, I still would have favoured India, because Bumrah with a new ball against tailenders, he's far too good. And I think Ravi Shastri was making the comment this morning, India needed wickets in the first 20 minutes. And if they didn't do that, then England would likely win, because the batsmen would get the confidence. And that's what happened. Yeah, there was a couple of early balls in their first Siraj over, one leapt and one jumped into Root. And you thought, oh, what's going to happen here? But they just played their way through it and then just played the runs.
They didn't lose any wickets today.
Yeah.
114 odd runs to get. They got them all without losing a wicket, and not even looking like they were going to lose a wicket. It was, I believe, this particular performance in these 2 hours this morning have been absolutely devastating for India. They will not know what hit them.
Yes and no. It's very difficult, obviously, to come in to play the one test and the one warm-up game. There is an argument to say that they are undercooked. I wouldn't say they're completely undercooked, and certainly the Indians won't. The team themselves won't use that as an excuse. They will just say that England played better, which is fair enough. Now, whether or not it was Bumrah's captaincy, I don't know, but there seemed to be a lot of discussions between Bumrah and Pant and Virat Kohli out on the field. Pardon me.
It wouldn't have mattered, Munchie, whether it was Bumrah's captain, Kohli's captain, Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul or anyone you can imagine. It doesn't matter. England were going to do this to any side they're going to play. And if they keep this up, or they have this mentality going in next year's Ashes, heaven help us.
Well, let's see what happens. We've still got another series against South Africa. We've got the winter coming up, but it's all very
Thanks,
positive.
Pascal.
Yeah, I would like to highlight. I will just bring up one point from yesterday, that there was some accounts of some racist taunting from a very small section of the crowd to some of the Indian supporters. Now, straight away, 99.9% of the English watching cricket public will just be a horde out there. That's not on. Yeah, we want to get rid of that from the game. That should not happen. There were comments from there was an Indian lady who said, "I've never known anything like it. I had 3 days watching the cricket here. Everyone was been brilliant. Indian supporters, England supporters. We just experienced this mindless group doing this. So hopefully they'll find them, ban them from Edgbaston and all cricket for the rest of their lives. We don't want that in cricket in England. We just want good fun, laughter and joker, Barmy Army, Bangor Army, just having a bit of banter between them, just a bit of fun, but certainly nothing racism. I don't know how it's been reported in India. Certainly been reported here, and Edgbaston and the ECB are looking to crack down on it and find out what's going on and stamp it out completely.
Now, I mean, I don't know what's happened exactly there, but we had a similar incident with Siraj in Australia the year before, and I was there for all that. There were, when people were aware of this discussion, there were people who mimicked it or copied it. Which is a bit sad. So yes, it is terrible, but I'm sure it's. I hope the media aren't overplaying the whole thing.
No, I just wanted to raise a comment just to say the vast, overwhelming majority of the English cricket watching public would be appalled by those reports.
Yeah. Now, good old so Chris Vernon's having some problems getting on. Maybe he's too excited about his team's victory there. Chris,
I don't. Subash, I don't know about the little finger. I noticed it yesterday. Root came out not Root. Stokes came out to the balcony with his little finger done like that. Sometimes the England team have little in jokes, so no doubt they'll get reported to the press.
What is it?
I don't know. Yeah, it could just be an in joke, having a laugh at someone else's expense within their own squad.
Oh, but okay. It was a one-off match. You can say India are underdone or overcooked, whatever term you want to use. But this fourth innings, this magical way that England are continuing to do this and come home with a wet sail is quite special. And
early on, they said before the game, we're going, batsmen, just prepare yourself. You're not batting first. Root was saying this beforehand. When they had a team huddle before the toss, they'd said, if India win the toss, they'll probably bat. If we win the toss, we're going to bowl. Yeah. So prepare yourselves. You're batting last. And that's just a great mentality. That just says we're going to go for it.
Well, nothing's too much for them. And with that, how much is Brendan McCallum responsible for this?
Huge amount. And I suppose it's also the positivity of Ben Stokes as well. Never say die almost. And I think the blend of them, McCallum will back his captain. And he's saying that, after the last test, the loyalty of the players, that's the one to go. And of course, if the team management is, we're going to go for it, have fun doing it, there's going to be no recriminations if you make an error or if you go for a shot and you get out, because that's what we want you to do. And so if the players have that confidence to go for the runs, then they're not going to be batting in their shell. They're not going to be nervous. They're not going to be this confidence issue. No, we're going to go for it. Okay, perhaps not in a 2020 or the first few overs of a one-day international style. We still have to respect Test cricket as the ultimate form of the game, and I still agree with some people that some of the shots that Stokes was coming out with slightly iffy at a Test match level. But you can still go for the shots. Now, if you take the yesterday, Siraj came on, they put 3 men on the fence, so the England batsmen knew what was going to happen, and they bounced him, and Bairstow went, fine, I'm going to hit it over the fence. And that's the aggressive nature. We know what you're going to do, but I'm still going to do it.
And the question there that Mithil Chauhan has said is it's interesting to see how England plays overseas Test matches.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's the test. Yeah. If the ball come the fourth innings, the wicket's crumbling, How are they going to attack that against spin bowlers on a wicket that's crumbling? Now, if you look at the wickets, Lords is always a good wicket. Trent Bridge is a nice flat wicket. Headingley, fourth innings, has proven before it's a great wicket. Edgbaston, there was a bit of movement, but still the wicket still played well. So is there an argument for making sure that wickets last 5 days as opposed to crumbling lunchtime on the second day, that sort of thing? But it's each country has different conditions, and in the World Test Championship, we believe that everyone should play everyone on different conditions rather than have 2 or 3 series, because that way you'll get a better balance and understanding of which is the best side. Now, India with this draw are going to struggle now to make that World Championship final, but you look at their team, they should be in that. I mean, if you look at the performances recently, Australia and India probably are the dominant sides. England are now coming to the fore, but that's only after 4 tests. They were awful beforehand.
We're not coming to the fore with the World Test Championship.
No, as I said, but they're only coming to the fore in terms of rising up the table. They're not going to do anything to the World Test Championship because they lost so many tests beforehand.
Quite incredible. Oh well, but you have to admit to yourself, when despite what's happened in the New Zealand games, you would think that when India are 132 ahead in the first innings, even though they got 245, they had 3 you would think that should spell a draw and/or victory to India. But the way England came out, it's just still hard to comprehend how good it was.
It's a great performance by England. The bowlers I think it was 90 for 7. They knocked off the last 7 wickets in the India's second innings to set up the 378 chase, and then the openers setting it up, 100 partnership to start with before losing the first wicket, knocking the ball all over it around the ground, getting the ball soft. But we did mention this yesterday. We needed to get overs into the Indian bowlers. You have the first 5 overs of Bumrah, then the second 5 overs of Bumrah, and then by the third 4 or 5 overs, he's starting to get leggy. And you need to then keep cycling through the bowlers all the time, because once that's ball softer and the bowlers are getting tired, then you're going to have more opportunities to make it easier to score runs. And that's what England players did. They just kept playing and playing and playing. Jadeja did a reasonable job, but it wasn't great. The ball really wasn't fizzing or spitting at all for him.
I mean, if you look at, the key to me in this match was not the first 2 innings, and it wasn't even most of the third. All India had to do was bat out yesterday and probably play a little bit more of a choice style of innings, and have almost what Australia always used to do very well against England or against anyone is to bat the other team into the ground where they don't have a chance of doing what England did. But India, unfortunately, gave them an opportunity.
Yeah, and if India had batted, say, longer, say, midway into afternoon yesterday, so England had a 450 chase, England will still would have gone for it, thinking, well, we've got, say, 40 overs today, then 90 overs the following day. That's 130 overs, 450 runs to get. Yeah, 2 or 3 and over. Yeah, we can sort that. That would be the mentality. But because they didn't, they gave the challenge of 378 with a day and 3 quarters to get them. And England said, right, let's go for it. Yeah.
And Roots did commend both Lees and Crawley with their opening partnership over 100.
Yeah, and that was the key thing. You need a good start. Yeah.
But Lees and Crawley will take a lot of confidence out of this.
Indeed. I think the only problem is now, of course, you've now got a reasonable wait now. It's 2 or 3 weeks or so until the first test against South Africa. So there are a couple of rounds of county championship. So I would expect some Crawley and Lees to go back, and Pope to the county, and get some 4-day cricket into their legs and get used to batting a good length of time and take that confidence then into the South Africa series. I don't see any changes in the squad unless there's any injuries. I think Mccallum will try and keep it loyal. And if you leave some Crawley with the only people going into this test, you had some sort of, well, would you play them the next games? And both performed admirably in the second innings to deserve that chance in the first test.
But it is definitely a mental attitude and a desire to win, and building confidence in even the characters like Lees, Leach, to an extent Crawley. They're all been given this great boost.
Yeah.
All right, final question, Sam Curran. Now, what's happened to him? And
Right.
he
So,
was,
well, before going to Sam Curran, I'll come to. Yeah, sorry, Himanshu. We were just covering things. Just be patient. Just be patient.
yeah.
I think the only change potentially you could see for the first test is Ben Folkes coming back in. Once he's got rid of the COVID and clear. Although, yeah, you say you won't want to change your winning side. Folkes was designated to be the batsman, to the wicketkeeper, the number one wicketkeeper. So I could see him coming back in. And Himanshu, Sam Curran's still recovering from injury. He's playing county games and playing well. But of course, then given the England team at the moment, who would you put him in front of? So yeah, Sam's not discarded. Certainly, he had the back injury. I think it was a back injury he had an issue with. He's coming back and he's playing. He's playing well, white ball and red ball at county level.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you for what a great summary, Munchie. You're a marvel. Pity we didn't get Chris Vernon on. It would have been nice to see him gloat away as he.
Yeah.
Maybe I
No,
deliberately.
it was amazing. I was really expecting a tight day. I was dreading the first few overs. I thought if we lose one or two wickets, then it's all going to change. And as I said earlier, even if England needed 20 with 3 wickets to go, and the new ball came, I would still favour India. I mean, they are. Let's not go. They are still a very strong side. But sometimes when you have two strong sides, if someone is just slightly better on the day and someone is slightly below their normal level, that's all it can take. It's a shame that it's finished the series in this way in terms of a carryover from last year. But I guess that's what they've had to do for the World Test Championship. But we've now got some exciting white ball cricket to come. And we look forward to that. I think Thursday is the first T20.
But there's an important game between us, or not important, but a test match, that is, between Sri Lanka yet to happen.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka made 3 changes, at least certainly 1 change, with their bowling. Well, Denny has been dropped, so they brought in Thekshana, who was in the short form. Let's see how that goes. I hope they make more of a fist of it. All right, Munchie, thank you very much for you. I've had 2.5 hours today, and I've enjoyed, including my chicken curry that I've had in between, and 3 wonderful magnums. Yes.
Mini magnums, yep.
God knows what's next. All right, Munchie, thank you very much.
No problems, guys. I'll catch you all soon. Take care.
Thank you, Munchie. Isn't it amazing? We had David Gravity, Mosen Sheikh. We've had Munchie on again. We've also had a glimpse of Chris Vernon, not quite the full Chris Vernon. He was there in the backstage studio, unable to log on, which is unfortunate. So here we are, guys. England have tied the series 2-all, the 5th test, which carried over from last year. And it's allowed India to retain the Patowdy trophy, which is a good thing. But certainly not England to be disgraced. They won and won handsomely. Broke records. In fact, 3 for 378 must be a phenomenal record for them to have done. Both the likes of Brook with 140 plus and Bairstow scoring a century. Quite incredible. See you soon. Munchie's just gone from being on screen to off screen, and he's made a message there. It really is fitting to say Munchie's saying, see you soon, guys. We certainly will see each other very soon. There'll be plenty more to happen. Australia versus Sri Lanka happening in a matter of days. We've got the ODIs and T20 series to come from both England and India. We've also got the England versus South Africa batting series. We've got also many more games involving Australia, hopefully against India, and then England maybe even going to Pakistan. Then, of course, the World Cup in October, November in Australia, matched up with Australia playing South Africa and even the West Indies. So there's back on Friday. Norman, I'll be back on Friday. You betcha, Paul. I'm back on Friday with bells on. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Munchie said goodbye. Paul Newman's waiting for Friday. I'll be probably on tomorrow. We'll talk about something else. All the best, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Norman Kochnick signing off on Eyes on Cricket. Stay random.